The political arena erupted into chaos today as an intense verbal clash unfolded between Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Senator JD Vance. What initially began as a routine discussion about policy quickly devolved into a fierce confrontation after Vance delivered a blistering remark targeting Crockett's credibility. Vance, known for his blunt and often controversial rhetoric, accused Crockett of prioritizing political theater over tangible results, implying that her efforts in Congress were superficial and ineffective. This jab instantly ignited outrage among Crockett's supporters, who have long praised her passionate advocacy for marginalized communities and progressive legislation. Social media exploded with heated debates, hashtags demanding respect for Crockett trending nationwide. The tension in the room was palpable. Crockett, visibly unshaken, stared down Vance and responded with precision and power. Her voice steady yet dripping with sharpness, she accused Vance of masking self-interest with hollow populism and ignoring the pressing needs of everyday Americans. She emphasized her record of fighting for justice, economic equality, and civil rights, framing Vance's attack as a desperate attempt to deflect from his own controversial stances. This exchange quickly spiraled into a full-blown war of words, capturing the attention of political analysts and the public alike. Some hailed Crockett's fearless rebuttal as a triumph of courage over condescension, while others criticized the escalating hostility, warning it could deepen divisions. As the confrontation unfolded live, the stakes grew higher. Both politicians are eyeing key upcoming elections, and this clash could reshape alliances and voter sentiments. Media outlets scrambled to dissect every word, every nuance of the encounter, with opinion pieces and commentary flooding the airwaves. The political battleground just got a lot hotter. This is just the beginning of a saga that promises more explosive moments, as neither Crockett nor Vance shows any sign of backing down. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this dramatic story and reveal what happens next in this fierce showdown. Following the initial verbal explosion between Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance, the political battlefield intensified with both sides rallying their supporters. Social media platforms became digital war zones, flooded with viral clips of their confrontation and heated commentary from both camps. Vance doubled down on his critique, releasing a statement accusing Crockett of politicizing every issue for personal gain and failing to deliver meaningful policy changes. His camp framed the conflict as a fight against empty promises and spectacle politics, attempting to paint Crockett as out of touch with mainstream voters. This rhetoric resonated with some conservative audiences, reigniting debates about authenticity and leadership in today's polarized climate. However, Crockett's response was swift and unrelenting. In an exclusive interview, she dismantled Vance's claims piece by piece, highlighting her legislative successes on criminal justice reform, healthcare access, and economic empowerment. She challenged Vance's record as well, calling attention to his controversial business ties and past statements that alienated key voter groups. "This isn't about politics as usual," Crockett insisted. "It's about standing up for those who've been ignored for too long." Her message struck a chord among progressives and moderates alike, reinforcing her image as a fearless advocate unafraid to confront powerful interests. Political analysts weighed in, noting how this public feud reflects broader national tensions between progressive and conservative factions. Some suggested the clash could serve as a defining moment for both politicians, potentially boosting Crockett's profile while putting Vance on the defensive. Meanwhile, grassroots organizations mobilized to support Crockett, organizing rallies and social media campaigns amplifying her message. The escalating conflict also prompted renewed discussions about decorum and civility in politics, with commentators divided on whether such confrontations energize democracy or deepen divisions. As the battle lines are firmly drawn, one thing is clear: neither Jasmine Crockett nor JD Vance intends to retreat. With key elections on the horizon, This rivalry is set to dominate headlines and shape voter sentiment for months to come. Stay with us for more exclusive coverage of this explosive political drama. As the battle between Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance rages on, the conflict has taken a darker, more personal turn. What started as sharp political criticism has now morphed into pointed attacks on character and background, intensifying the hostility between the two figures. Vance, refusing to back down, released a scathing op-ed that accused Crockett of exploiting her background for political gain, calling her a master of victimhood politics and questioning her motives. He implied that her rise was fueled more by identity politics than by genuine leadership, a claim that immediately sparked outrage among Crockett's supporters and civil rights advocates. In response, Crockett didn't hesitate to fire back with equal force. In a fiery speech at a recent rally, she labeled Vance's comments as an ugly attempt to undermine the progress of marginalized communities, and accused him of peddling divisive rhetoric that only serves the elite. She also touched on his own controversial past, highlighting moments where Vance appeared disconnected from the struggles of ordinary Americans. The crowd erupted in cheers as Crockett vowed to continue fighting for justice and equality despite the attempts to silence her. Political commentators pointed out that this escalating war of words reflects a broader cultural conflict raging across the country. It's no longer just about policies or elections. It's a battle over identity, values, and who gets to claim the moral high ground. Some analysts warned that such personal attacks risk alienating voters tired of negativity and mudslinging, while others argued that these confrontations expose the real stakes involved in the fight for America's future. Meanwhile, social media exploded with memes, videos, and hashtags supporting both sides, fueling a digital firestorm that shows no sign of cooling. Each camp has dug in deeper, mobilizing volunteers and donors in anticipation of a political showdown that could reshape the landscape. The question remains, will this bitter feud produce lasting change, or only deepen the divide? Stay tuned for the next chapter in this gripping saga, where tensions will continue to rise and the stakes get even higher. The explosive clash between Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance has now become the talk of every major news outlet, igniting a media frenzy that shows no signs of slowing down. Both politicians have expertly leveraged their confrontation to dominate headlines, with cable news debates, political podcasts, and social media channels dissecting every word, gesture, and implication from their exchanges. News anchors highlight the growing rift between progressive and conservative factions, often using Crockett and Vance as the poster figures for this cultural and ideological war. The spectacle has drawn in viewers from all sides, with ratings soaring and online engagement skyrocketing. Public reactions have been equally intense and divided. Supporters of Crockett praise her resilience and fearless defense against what they call baseless attacks from Vance. Grassroots activists have organized rallies and online campaigns to boost her message of justice and equality. Meanwhile, Vance's base admires his blunt honesty and willingness to challenge what they see as political correctness run amok. Some conservatives view Crockett's assertiveness as aggressive posturing rather than genuine leadership, further polarizing opinions. The polarization is evident in town halls and public forums, where debates often escalate into heated arguments and personal confrontations. Political analysts observe that this media storm has a double-edged effect. On one hand, it elevates both Crockett and Vance's national profiles, positioning them as key players in upcoming elections. On the other hand, it risks alienating moderate voters tired of nonstop conflict and divisive rhetoric. The media's focus on drama and conflict may overshadow substantive policy discussions, a concern raised by bipartisan commentators urging a return to civility and constructive dialogue. Meanwhile, social media platforms are flooded with memes, clips, and commentary from both sides, turning the feud into a viral cultural phenomenon that extends far beyond politics. As the spotlight intensifies, the stakes grow ever higher. Both Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance are acutely aware that their next moves will not only impact their political futures, but could influence the broader trajectory of the nation's political climate. With public opinion hanging in the balance, this media-fueled confrontation continues to captivate audiences across the country, setting the stage for what promises to be an unforgettable showdown. As the heated feud between Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance continues to capture national attention, the conflict has expanded beyond the initial verbal exchanges, spilling into the broader political arena. Both politicians have started leveraging their growing influence to rally allies and secure strategic advantages ahead of upcoming elections. Vance, capitalizing on his reputation as a no-nonsense conservative, has intensified his campaign messaging, framing Crockett as part of an out-of-touch liberal elite disconnected from everyday Americans' concerns. His team has launched targeted ads highlighting his business background and commitment to traditional values, seeking to solidify support in key swing districts. Meanwhile, Crockett is not backing down. She has mobilized a coalition of progressive lawmakers and grassroots organizations, emphasizing her dedication to social justice, healthcare reform, and economic equality. In town halls and public appearances, she consistently calls out Vance's record, accusing him of prioritizing corporate interests over the needs of working families. Her campaign has effectively used social media to engage younger voters and marginalized communities, reinforcing her image as a fearless advocate for change. The energy on her side is palpable, with volunteers and donors rallying behind her cause in unprecedented numbers. The intensifying rivalry has also attracted the attention of national party leaders, who see both Crockett and Vance as rising stars with the potential to shape the future direction of their respective parties. Behind closed doors, strategists are weighing the risks and rewards of further escalating the conflict versus seeking opportunities for compromise. Political pundits debate whether this high-stakes showdown will energize the base or alienate moderates crucial for winning tight races. The heightened scrutiny and relentless media coverage mean that every statement, tweet, and public appearance is analyzed for signs of weakness or strength. As the political battlefield broadens, the stakes have never been higher. Crockett and Vance are locked in a fierce contest for influence, ideology, and ultimately, the loyalty of voters across the country. With the election season looming, their rivalry promises to dominate headlines and define the tone of the political discourse for months to come. As the fierce rivalry between Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance intensifies, the political landscape begins to shift in unexpected ways. Both sides are seeking new allies to bolster their positions, leading to surprising endorsements and strategic partnerships that add fuel to the already blazing fire. Crockett has gained support from several influential progressive leaders and grassroots organizations who view her as a symbol of resistance against entrenched conservative power. These alliances have amplified her message and increased her fundraising efforts, allowing her campaign to expand rapidly. On the other hand, Vance has also found backing among prominent conservative figures who admire his unapologetic style and commitment to traditional values. His camp has secured endorsements from key party operatives and business leaders, reinforcing his image as a pragmatic candidate ready to challenge the status quo. This infusion of support has strengthened his resolve to maintain pressure on Crockett and keep the narrative focused on what he calls real-world solutions over political theatrics. However, these new alliances have also escalated tensions further. Both Crockett and Vance have doubled down on their rhetoric, refusing to concede any ground. Their debates have become more heated, with each accusing the other of undermining the country's future. the political discourse has grown increasingly polarized, reflecting broader national divisions. Media coverage intensifies, often highlighting the personal nature of their attacks as much as the policy disagreements. Despite the mounting pressure, both politicians remain steadfast. Crockett continues to portray herself as the fearless defender of justice and equality, while Vance positions himself as the voice of common sense and traditional values. Voters are watching closely as this high-stakes battle unfolds, aware that the outcome could have significant implications for the political landscape. The long-simmering conflict between Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance has finally reached a boiling point. Their latest debate, held before a packed audience and broadcast live, showcased the full intensity of their rivalry. Crockett came out swinging, delivering passionate arguments about social justice, economic reform, and the urgent need for change. She challenged Vance's record relentlessly, accusing him of catering to wealthy elites while ignoring the struggles of ordinary citizens. Her commanding presence and sharp rhetoric drew applause and energized her supporters. Vance responded with equal vigor, defending his conservative principles and attacking Crockett's policies as unrealistic and divisive. He emphasized his experience in business and government as proof of his ability to deliver practical solutions. The clash was raw, unfiltered, and undeniably dramatic, capturing the nation's attention. Political commentators praised the debate as one of the most compelling showdowns in recent memory, highlighting how it reflects deep national divisions. But beyond the spectacle, this confrontation has sparked important conversations about leadership, values, and the future direction of the country. Both Crockett and Vance have exposed fundamental disagreements that resonate with millions of Americans, making this more than just a personal feud. It's a microcosm of the broader ideological battle shaping the political landscape. As this saga continues to unfold, one thing is clear. Jasmine Crockett and JD Vance have forever changed the tone of political discourse. Whether you agree with either side or not, their fight demands attention and reflection. If you want to stay updated on this story and other explosive political dramas, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. There's plenty more to come, and you won't want to miss a single moment.